trusting in us. The second one is a promise we make. We know that the Ugandan business community has been impacted. We know that all of us as a nation have been impacted. For us in the bank, if you saw our results last year, we were impacted. We wrote off 98 billion Uganda shillings in bad loans as Stanbic alone. So we feel the pain. We know what the pain is. But we also know that we are not defeated. We know that we can build back better. And this conversation here is the start of building back better. We know that you're sitting on bad loans. We know your businesses were impacted. We know that the traffic downtown is not what it used to be. But those are the challenges we face. And the question before us is, how do we build back better? How do we build back a business that is more resilient? Because we've now learned that what we take for granted today may not happen tomorrow. Things like insurance, they are real and important to your business. Creating resilience in your business is something we are going to work with you on. That you must have reserves at any one time. That you must have a plan B and plan C, because COVID has taught us that things change, and sometimes they change drastically when we are not prepared. So we as Stanbic make you a promise that we will work with you to build better, and that we will work with you to make sure that your businesses are more resilient, more relevant, and serve more Ugandans. Because we are critically aware of the role you play. When we look at the statistics right now, your sector is a sector that employs most Ugandans. As a country, we suffer from an unemployment problem. As a youth nation, we produce over 600,000 people every year looking for a job. And the corporates can only absorb a few thousand. The rest of it falls on you. You are the largest employers in this country. And those of us who have children look to you to grow so that you can provide jobs for our children. So we have a duty to support you. And that is the promise that I make to you, that we will work with you to, one, understand your businesses better, but also help you to build back better. That matters of record keeping is not for Kwejalabia. You must keep a proper book of accounts. You must have a proper record. That matters of compliance with tax and everything else are not nice to have. They are absolutely critical to run a sustainable business. Friends, cutting corners here and there may save you 1-2 shillings, but in the long run, you will pay a far higher price. So we want to work with you to create a professional business at your level. My third remark is about trust. I think the Baganda have a word for it, always simple. That we as a bank, in the past we have tried to partner. And we didn't have a good experience. But we are trying again. And what we ask for from Kacita members is to work with us in a trust relationship, a trust-based relationship. And I'll tell you why that benefits both you and us. When we are making lending decisions, we look at two things.
Smart 24, driving business. Smart 24, driving business.
Your record keeping and the history of your business, and we look at your willingness to pay, which is character. Those are the only two things. Everything else, Luzungu, and it's a lot. But those are the two core things we look at. And we want to extend a hand of grace to you to say, we are here to work with you. We are here to build together to solve the problems. And indeed, we on our part promise that when that happens, we will all be better off for it. When we are calculating the cost of lending, and I know the minister has just warned me, he's going to talk about it, so I'll diffuse that bomb. This is what we do. We look at the cost of money, plus the cost of intermediation, plus the risk premium. The biggest factor there is the risk premium. I look at you and say, but will this person bring my money back? If I lend to them, will they pay me back? Will they keep their promise? And that is the risk premium that we factor in the cost. That risk premium is variable and can move depending on the quality of the relationship. That if I've lent to you this year and we have worked together, next year we should be looking at reducing that risk premium because you have kept your promise and I've kept mine, right? That every year we should sit and say, how is the business going? Is it okay? And if it's okay, we continue to bring down the cost of lending. As Stanbic Bank, we've committed to this, and you will see that we are lending as low as, Aaron, we're lending at 15%. But we know that even at 15%, it's still too high. We have every intention of working to bring that down. But we have to work with you. We have to start from somewhere. That you keep a proper book of accounts. That they know that these books are for the banks, and then these other ones are the real ones. We put a proper business, one set of accounts, fully compliant with the URA, with all other codes, so that we build sustainably. There is no business that has grown into a conglomerate if it's built on weak structures. So we want to work with you. We will provide free training. We will walk with you on this journey to professionalize your businesses, to have proper books of accounts kept. So that in the long run, we can lend cheaper to you, so that we can make it easier for you to access credit, so that we can make it easier for you to grow. So those are the three things. One is to thank you. The other one is a promise we make that we want to work with you and we will keep our promise. And the third one is a request that we have extended a hand. Please extend the same so that together we can build back better. With those few words, I want to thank you and welcome you to what I hope will be the first of very, very many conversations and a rich partnership. Thank you very much. And it falls on me, it is my singular honor and duty to welcome you, Honorable David Bahati, to address us this morning. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
You got attention.
Thank you very much. CEO, the chairperson, incoming chairperson of Kacita, and members of the Kacita group. Good morning to you, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, the MC first of all said that the incoming chairperson should remove a mask so that we can see him properly. I think it's safer to keep the mask on so that we can live with you longer.
Thank you.
Than just seeing you in the morning and then tomorrow it's not there.
Okay.
So, first and foremost, I want to thank you, Stanbic Bank, for this initiative. You truly deserve to be appreciated, and I want to ask everybody in the room to really put a hand together to appreciate you. We have some issues with the Stanbic Bank and also all commercial banks. But in our place we have a saying, a proverb, that says, it's better to have chicks than having mouths. It's better what you are really doing today than the issues that we have been having with you, which are the cost of money. One of the things that we are facing here in the country in terms of easing the way of doing business is the cost of money. The interest rate of 15% and above is too high to make any business profitable. But what we have done today is at least something to address the issues of traders. So I'm very happy that we are partnering with Kacita to ease their doing business. Kacita, I want to tell you and also to request you to take advantage of this initiative. From the brief I've got, you don't now have to go to China to import. You can do it here as long as you do your business professionally. You can access resources from Stanbic Bank and fund your company without any, and your business without any problem. I'm also very glad, Stanbic Bank, that we are taking a route of making our local businesses more professional. I'm a professional, I'm a chartered accountant, and I also, in my private life, do some auditing. But I've failed to get some business from Kacita because they never want to professionalize their businesses. It pays to run a professional business than running unprofessional business. Even the tax that you want to avoid in the long run, you spend more money than if you professionalize your business and paid some taxes. Paying tax is not a punishment. It's actually an opportunity for you to make a contribution to the development of your country. So I'm very happy that we are using this approach of easing the way of doing business with China and other countries, but also looking at professionalizing the local businesses here to be able to grow them and employ people, give jobs, but also pay taxes. So Kacita, I hope you will take advantage of this initiative and benefit your companies. Secondly, I have seen Mr. Ochichi. Despite the circumstances that we are going through, time to come. I hope Sheraton you continue to prove that you are a 5-star hotel, because you should have got an automatic generator to sort out this. I think it's not a good. We shall see the general manager and please give that feedback. Stanbic Bank. Yeah. So government has put in place plans and programs to benefit the business community. And we appeal to you, Kacita, to take advantage of this. The first one, we have a program called Enterprise Uganda, headed by Ochichi. Ochichi is there, if you can stand up for. His job is supported by government to mentor entrepreneurs, to mentor companies, make them more professional, take advantage of Mr. Ochichi's program to build your companies. So take advantage. Next time it goes off, I will continue speaking. Take advantage of Uganda Enterprise, because you can benefit from them with the knowledge and skills that they offer to entrepreneurs. The second one, we have put in place 200 billion Uganda shillings to help businesses recover from the effects of COVID-19. And we are working out the guidelines. We shall be working with you, the commercial banks, so that we can support these local businesses. But at the end of the day, this will be in the short run. In the long run, we want you, Kacita, to turn from being importers to manufacturers. That is the long run strategy for government. As we speak now, I was just looking at the figures from URA. We are importing goods worth 4 billion Uganda shillings from China alone. 4 billion. We want at least out of that 4 billion, let us manufacture our goods from here, worth 3 billion. And it will do wonders in terms of creating jobs and also paying taxes. We know that you had requested His Excellency the President for a land to put up an industrial park for you to start manufacturing. Please get out of the mentality of import into import substitution through manufacturing. The real problem is Uganda now imports 7 billion worth of goods every year, and then we export for 5 billion US dollars. So there is a deficit of 2 billion. And the 7 billion that we import, if we had invested it here in terms of factories, we would be building a base for jobs for our children and the young people of Uganda, and also making more money in terms of revenue. So my point here was to thank Stanbic Bank that at least you are moving in the right direction. Despite our quarrels with you, we have a big quarrel with commercial banks. We still believe that with the environment we are put in place, the risk CO you are talking about does not guarantee 20%, 25% of interest rate to be charged to the businesses. We hope that when we start building our UDB and other infrastructure that we're putting in place, we'll continue to create pressure on you to reduce the interest rate, because 15% is really way above what somebody would make. Because which business can you do that will give you 30% as a profit margin? For the highest return on investment in the country is around 12%, meaning that if you borrow at 15%, you're going to have a big problem, because despite the fact that COVID came, I'm not a bit surprised that you had that bad debt figure of 400 billion. Part of it is COVID, but I think the other one is the punishment for charging very high interest rates because they failed to pay at the end of the day. So we will, but at least now you are showing very good will to the business community. Please take advantage of this. The second point, I wanted to appeal to Kacita members, move away from imports to building factories. Because you have the resources to build a factory, setting up a processing plant to process tea probably is 2 million, 3 million US dollars. You can start manufacturing and exporting. That is the real problem in the long run that we must resolve. And it's not that you don't have the resources to put up factories, but in some cases it's a mindset that we have, which I think Ochichi will be organizing these seminars, because sometimes it's a mindset. It's a mindset, not that you don't have capital, but you have been accustomed to know that if I'm to make business, I must import from China and do that. Thirdly, take advantage of government programs. The 200 billion we are put in place, please utilize it. And if you have a shortage, you'll be able to go Stanbic Bank and help you. CEO, thank you very much for inviting me here. Thank you for this program, and thank you for supporting our economy to grow, especially our businesses. We hope that in the future we shall have a common ground where we can reduce the interest rate to be able to continue helping our business community. We have here a commissioner from URA, he will take us through. Emma, I hope that once we have left, he will take us through the numbers so that we know the real problem and how we can address it. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Have a very nice morning.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Just a simple request. I have been requested to request you that we take a group photo with the CE.
As the photographers come, I wanted to do a quick rebuttal to the minister. Quick, very quick, because I believe in dialogue. Yes. One is to commit that we hear you. When we study economics globally, a high interest rate is painful for the whole nation. If nobody is gaining, the banks don't gain because we can only lend to a few. The businesses don't gain because you never grow. The cost of funding is up. So we are committed to reducing the interest rate. We are committed to working with you. All we need is conversations like this, and we start to professionalize, because I want to get comfort that you're showing me proper books of.
Oh, just a few technical issues right there at Serena, but we shall be getting back as we look at the partnership between Kacita and Stanbic Bank, which is something that is really so beneficial to the two parties. In this incident, we can see that Stanbic Bank is going to get more clients, and the Kacita traders will get favorable bank rates with the Stanbic Bank. Very shortly, we shall be getting back to the live event. Just something very small that is taking place. As meanwhile, we can be talking about partnerships. What are partnerships? Partnerships, it's more like an agreement between two people. It's a mutual understanding between two people, whereby, okay, let's get back to the live event right now.
Already committed 30 billion to that. So we are not paying lip service. We are serious about this. And we are putting our entire machinery to making this work. Uganda is our home. We drive abroad. The problems that Uganda has, nobody is going to come from elsewhere to help us. Only us can help ourselves. When you build a factory, you're building it for yourself, your children, and the people you employ. You're making a difference in the life of Uganda. So we are committed, and we've had your remarks, Mr. Minister. And we look forward to inviting you 6 months from now, when we are showing you results of what we have done with the members of Kacita. Thank you very much.
The group photo, the Commissioner Customs. Mr. Abe, CEO Kacita. UNBS. As that one takes effect, the executive of Kacita, UNBS, thank you. I think you have done. Are you done? Thank you very much. Can I have as I call upon the team from the Stanbic group, the minister cannot continue with us. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I only have to say that the majority of the people that have made factories here have been members of Kacita, and we are continuing the list. Any big manufacturer you mention around has come from Kacita. We only need feasibility study, ready programs, and a good working relationship between Investment Authority, Privatization Wing, National Planning Authority, and the banking sector. We are ready to move because we have already moved. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me, as I make ready, I request the team that is going to give us the gist of why we are here. Allow me to recognize the resident representative of the Kenya Ports Authority, Mr. Muhammad Jeza, if he's around. The port of Mombasa for export and import is very important, and it is therefore very important that we recognize the resident representative, and here is Mr. Muhammad Jezan. Allow me also to recognize and introduce the Vice Chairperson of Kacita, Mrs. Hope Katwine. Just stand up for recognition. The Secretary for Security for Kacita, Mr. Jemba Mlondo. Dr. Gonsha, Executive Member. One of the big customers of Stanbic Bank, and we are learning a lot from her. Mr. Bravo Shoes. Mr. Yes, no. This name, I'm going to be punished today. He's a member of the board, but the name is very complicated for me. Can you say your name?
Since you have said the brand, my name is Yesiji Brand Bravo, and I'm the CEO of Bravo Shoes, the organizing secretary of Kacita. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other member of executive, Prose Musoke, member of executive of Kacita, electronics dealer, Mr. Mobilizer, Mr. Simeo Mbuga, the treasurer. The treasurer is Mr. Baguma. Mr. Baguma also say your name. I'm sorry.
I'm called Baguma Timothy. My first name is Atwoki. Thank you.
Baguma Timothy Atwoki. And my name is Isa Sejito. I'm the speaker for Kacita, as well as the representative or the director for trade and commerce at the Private Sector Foundation, Uganda. So please stand back. If you are ready, just come and take us through why we are here in detail, a brief summary of why we are here, and we can move to the launch and call it a day. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We have also the chairperson of the Cargo Consolidators Association, Mr. Kenneth Ayebazi. Are you here? Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for coming. My name is Aaron Akampa. I head enterprise banking at Stanbic Bank. I will be handing this over to my colleague shortly, but I thought it very important to just give us an origin of how this partnership came about. First of all, thank you very much to everybody for coming. I think this has overwhelmed even myself, and we have been in planning for this for over 4 months. Before we go any further, I would like us to have a moment of silence for Mr. Everest Kayondo, who passed away. When we began this journey at the beginning of this year, we were working with a different chairman of Kacita, who unfortunately succumbed to COVID. So I'll ask us to stand up for a minute of silence in his honor for the work that he did, whose work lives through us even up to this day. So thank you. May his soul rest in eternal peace. So, as I said, this journey began as early as March of this year. There were prior engagements before that, but the launch meeting happened actually here at the Sheraton. We didn't have that many power cuts in that particular meeting, but we met with the board, we met with Abel, the chief executive, and had deliberations on how best can we collaborate to support the trader community out of this situation that we found ourselves in, that is the pandemic. I think all of us can agree that the last 18 months or so have hit our trader community harder than most sectors. Kacita is not only looking after Kampala, it's cutting across the entire country, and we believed as an organization that this is the perfect partnership to bring solutions to the challenges that our traders were facing. I mean, you can't get into China right now, even if you tried. You can't bring in goods. Even when you bring in goods, traders were struggling to pay the taxes, being hit with all kinds of damage fees and charges. We understand the working capital gaps that were created by the pandemic, the losses that traders were facing with the lending, the general cost of banking being expensive. And this partnership is going to start in one place and then end up in an entirely different place altogether. And the way that will happen is by continuous learning and continuous feedback from everybody in this room. So my job here is to say thank you to the Kacita team for trusting us with your brand, with trusting that we are going to carry this partnership forward, because ultimately the person we're doing this for is the trader and the 1.5 million businesses that exist in Uganda. And we will do our part with your support to ensure that we drive Uganda's growth. So thank you to Kacita. I want to thank URA, who have fully endorsed our partnership, and Abel, I look forward to your remarks. I want to thank UNBS, we want to thank the Insurance Regulatory Authority and the Uganda Airlines and Kenya Ports Authority and all your partners, Enterprise Uganda in your different capacities, who have endorsed this partnership and have come to be with us on this momentous occasion to launch this. As Abel said and articulated, we're going to have a series of events post-launch where we will get down to the grassroots, have conversations with the different traders, bring to light. We will have a Stanbic resource positioned at the Kacita offices and premises to answer your questions directly, should that, as and when they arise. So we're taking this partnership very, very seriously. And my job is done, it's to thank you. So I'll invite Ismail Temwanga, our head of trade at Stanbic Bank, who is going to take us through some of the specifics of the partnership around facilitating trade with the Asian continent and sorting out your tax issue. Ismail?
Thank you very much, Aaron. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and I welcome you once again to this wonderful event. And I want to particularly recognize the presence of Abel, the Commissioner. Thank you very much for embracing our occasion and all the protocols observed. Aaron has already really thanked the Kacita community for embracing this partnership and giving us confidence to work with us throughout this. And I'll tell you, in my banking experience, I've spent the last 14 years working with SMEs. And my previous job with the bank, I was the head of commercial banking. And I know the pain that traders go through, especially during this trying moment. My role today is to briefly talk about the foundation of this partnership, which is also in line with our strategic intent as a bank to drive partnerships for growth with our clients. And I'll tell you, we have members on the team who are online. We have colleagues from our center in South Africa who are also part of the trade journey. And along the way, they will make some remarks. Before I go into the presentation, I want to highlight some important statistics. The Honorable Minister Bahati touched something. But I want to particularly tell you that China is the single largest trading partner with the African continent. Those statistics are scaring because you will see the values of import and exports that exchange across the continent and China. But coming back to Uganda, our import tax bill from international trade is over 6 trillion shillings. So that tells you the importance of traders and trading community. And out of the $7 billion trading volumes or values with China, with the globe, China represents 24%. So we import, our imports, 24% come from China. It's around $1.7 billion. And I think URA will give us deeper statistics on that. I may not be accurate, but that's the level. However, we only export a value of about $44 million. This is just 2.5% of the out to China. I'm trying to move the presentation. Can someone help me? Okay, there we go. All right. Now, the reason why we set up the Africa-China banking proposition is because it's part of our intention to drive growth through partnerships. And Kacita is just an element of this. We are going to do so many things that we are going to be talking about, but our value proposition is basically we connect clients to opportunities, we connect African buyers to Chinese suppliers, and African suppliers to buying opportunities in China. We therefore connect clients to seamless Africa-China trade. So we have a fully fledged Africa-China trade desk globally, out of South Africa, on the continent, and by region and each country. So we are very deliberate on that. And why we are doing this is because we were trying to also drive both the export and import propositions. So these are some of the things that we are doing. And when you talk about Africa-China trade, we have the import solution. Now, in this import solution, we are trying to drive imports. We are trying to drive capabilities for our clients to be able to import from China seamlessly. And by doing that, we provide a one-stop center where we connect Chinese suppliers through our agents. And you will also receive favorable payment terms because we realize that some of the traders have challenges with the trading terms that the Chinese suppliers are giving them. And our agents will also provide peripheral support, including factory inspections, logistics, and all that. Now, on the export side, we are trying to connect Ugandan producers, especially, you know, our main exports come out of agricultural output. And we have done quite a number of matchmaking events where we are trying to connect our clients into buying opportunities in China. And when we do that, we also assist you with your exports handling and other connected logistics that are required. And lastly, travel. You know very well that even before the pandemic, traveling to China was quite difficult. You know, getting visas, connecting you to the hospitality section, the other side, plus agents handling language and all that. So all this is part of our strategy. Okay, now this is just a simple summary of what I've been talking about. On the import proposition, which we are trying to address with Kacita now, that is exactly what we do. So you have African importers, and in this case, this is Ugandan. You are the customer through our group, which is Standard Bank, and we have vetted and trusted agents that we shall use to help you source for goods. I am glad to have Dr. Gonsha here. Dr. Gonsha is one of the first traders who have benefited from this solution. I don't know whether your goods have arrived, but you have all the documents with you. We assisted Dr. Gonsha, to connect her to supply. She was looking for specific items, pharmaceutical items, and indeed they were able to source. They handled the logistics, they handled the supply chain, documents, and I'm only waiting to unveil. So doctor, when your things arrive, please call me. I'll be the one to open the container. And then obviously we connect you to agents. We have a standard agent called Guamao. He's one of the largest actually logistics and trade client groups at the globe, and this is the one that we are dealing with currently. Then this one just gives you a summary of how we have cut through the complexity, so you don't have to. Now, right now, first of all, getting a visa to China is almost impossible. And when you get it, you'll go through an initial 21-day quarantine. But if you're moving through zones, every time you move from one zone to another, you are also subjected to an extra 7 days. So why the hassle? So this basically gives you a summary of what we have done, and it also summarizes the role. So the first one is the Chinese trade agent who will assist you to source the right suppliers for your business, and then they also negotiate. And because we're using a global agent, they have higher negotiating power that you cannot use as a single individual trader. Then they will also arrange travel in the event that you must travel to go and verify, or whether you require physical inspection of factories and all that. But also they provide translation. And then sourcing, because one of the biggest problems that you'll face with UNBS, and that's why we have UNBS here, these people actually help us on quality assurance. The products that you're buying meet the quality standards globally and in respect to the requirements of UNBS. Otherwise, you'll be hit with serious fines if you don't do that. And then they will also work on any failures on your behalf. So this is just like a high-level summary of what happens. But now, as a bank, we will provide the very first principle of connecting you to the opportunity. And in the event that other solutions are required, including financing, logistics, insurance, we will be able to support you, especially when it comes to handling cargo and insurance premiums for marine, as well as tax. Okay, this is more or less my last slide, and this is, like I said, we are doing quite a number of things with Kacita, and we shall go process by process. Now, when we are engaging with Kacita, they gave us a hierarchy of problems that traders are facing, their members, and I'm glad that majority of the Kacita executives are also traders in their own capacity. So when they are speaking on their own behalf, and they are also representing their traders. So they told us, of course, the first problem has been resolved. Flying to China to import, you don't have to. Now we are in the driving seat, we shall help you to do that. The second one was improving the quality of logistics, professionally, handling cargo, documentation, clearing, and becoming compliant. All right, compliant with taxes, compliant with the requirements of UBOS, etc. But also, most importantly, making sure that they have sufficient funding to pay for their taxes. So we have come up with an initial solution, which is derived on supporting on the logistical elements, especially when it comes to taxation. So ladies and gentlemen, Stanbic Bank has put a small fund that will help traders, before you go there, to manage their tax obligations when their cargo come here. But let's spend some time here. We have told you, and our chief executive has told you, that we are doing our best to provide competitive interest rates for this proposition, but also the turnaround, because we've for a long time had a challenge turning around decisions. That has improved. Now, the way this is going to work, Kacita will have to recommend you as a legitimate member of the association. We shall also look at the conduct of your account, like our chief executive said, two things that we look to principally, affordability and willingness to pay. We also have what we call pre-scored or unsecured proposition in the enterprise banking space, where you just have to go and pick 200 million without security. It's a system-based pre-qualification where you can pick money to pay for your taxes and other obligations. And then lastly, in this that we are building, we are also going to put a whole lot of trade solutions, including import finance, letters of credit where required, depending on the needs of the supplier, and we shall assess that in the normal credit. Before I close my presentation, I wanted my colleague, Mr. Luthando, please, technical team, please see if you can put Luthando online. If he's on, Luthando is the head of Africa-China trade for the continent, and he drives the Africa region strategy. And he has also been part of supporting us in putting together this memorandum. Luthando, if you're on, please, I would like you to speak to the team about some of the experiences that you have seen on the continent and how best we can make the Africa-China trade solution work much better in Uganda specifically. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ishmael. Good morning to the delegation from Kacita, and good morning to the Minister, Honorable Minister, and then to the Stanbic leadership, and also the related stakeholders within the industry that was mentioned earlier. My name is Luthando Vuba, I'm trade for the Standard Bank, as Ishmael has mentioned. So I'd like to just add or flash to what Ishmael has already spoken to. So in our other markets, we have launched our offering of Africa-China trade solutions, where really the aim is assisting our clients or African businesses to connect with China, whether they're trying to import or trying to export. Ishmael has asked me to highlight some key success stories, so I'll try my best to do so within the time I have. I particularly thought of this morning of a country further south, Botswana, one of the markets we're in, where our colleagues have partnered with a similar association that supports traders and small businesses, SMEs. Earlier speak about we need to move towards manufacturing, and I completely agree with him that Africa needs to develop and self-produce, and the reality is that for us to get there, the means and the scale does not sit in Africa. Currently, China is that leading partner, not just for Africa but for the globe, and this is where tactically and strategically our offering and the work that we do fits into the agenda of developing Africa, of driving this agenda as well that we have of intra-Africa trade with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. So our colleagues in Botswana had taken this and they're partnered with them to really then help these SMEs that are supported by this entity called CEDA, who had connected with China for importing of goods, importing of machinery to produce personal protective equipment or PPE, and a range of things. And one of the key projects that they're currently working on is focusing on the health sector. So Botswana is now looking at what do they import to start to boost the health sector, but also then helps them to start to produce some of the items locally in Botswana. So I thought I'd use that as an example because it relates quite strongly to what Kacita stands for and its key and pivotal role to the economy of Uganda, and also to just highlight how this still aligns with the agenda of how do we boost our economies, not only from activity, but also develop our manufacturing sector, which is very key and really key to start to see more localized production in Africa. So, and I thank you for the time that you've granted me, and I wish you all well and look forward to this relationship and working relationship that we're going to have with Kacita. And as our CE has mentioned, it is really a partnership that will be collaborative, and that's what will make it beneficial. We are here to work with you and make sure that there's success on both sides. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Luthando. All right. I just want to introduce to you the key context in as far as this program is concerned. That's me at the extreme left. Chang Xiaobo. His name Andrew in bracket. We named him Andrew. Please come for recognition. This gentleman is a resident. Have you got your national ID? Not yet. All right. Chang. He's the manager Africa China Banking. You will see him a lot in your faces, and he helps us to actually connect with our office in Beijing and also work with ICBC and our other colleagues in China to drive the Africa China strategy. Douglas works with Aaron in our enterprise suite. He's one of the people that are going to be, actually, we are shifting his office into Kacita. Issa, you should give him a seat. This gentleman is going to specifically drive this program on behalf of the bank in Kacita. Fiona Wang is a country manager. I don't know whether she's on the call. You would have seen her actually if she can put on a video. She sits in China and she is a representative of Guamao, our agent. So actually, Gonsha, this is the Fiona you've been dealing with. You've never seen her picture. So Fiona coordinates communications and logistics on behalf of Guamao, specifically handling East Africa region. And when we get leads from you, she's the lady who will be helping us on this journey. We have a whole lot of team behind this, including senior management. Our executive director is here, and we will put all efforts to ensure that this works. So lastly, I want to thank you all for listening to me, and I wish this partnership the best of life, and I think that it will go a long way in not only supporting client growth, but also delivering on the purpose of our economy. I thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Like I told you, we shall do everything possible and in our means to reach every business person in your own areas. This is the message to launch. This is the message to start the struggle. I'm seeing several people representing Chikubo business community, Chiembe business community. I'm seeing people from Nabugabo. I'm seeing people from the electronics sector in Chiembe. Everybody should have been here, save for the COVID pandemic. For as long as it is said, it should be done. So ladies and gentlemen, as we near the closure of this function, I want to request and call upon the Commissioner Customs. As you see, when Kacita comes out to talk about documentation and its guidelines, his work is more than 50% settled. Because like you know, the tug of war between the Revenue Authority and the business community has been paperwork and documentation. If we come out and this is sorted, I am sure for the experience I've shared as both as an importer and an advocate of the importers, I know how much it can do if the paperwork of the business person is improved to the conviction of Uganda Revenue Authority. After his remarks, we shall officially sign the MOU. I see somebody is nodding. So, Mr. Abe, please come and address. There is a sanitizer there. Feel free, sir. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Minister in absentia, the CD, Stanbic Bank, Uganda, the Executive Director, Stanbic Bank, Uganda, and the team, Stanbic, and my dear Kacita colleagues, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Aber Kagumire, a Commissioner for Customs at URA, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here because of about two reasons. And like Isa has said, whenever you're going to get this job at Customs, they first ask a question at the board how you're going to make sure you build a working relationship with Kacita. That shows how important Kacita is. Why? Because of the taxes we collect from international trade taxes, 35% is what I contribute. The rest is contributed through domestic taxes. 23% of that tax is paid by these people. The other percentage is full of exemptions, people paying only VAT, which they want to claim back. But when we talk of real import duty, ISA is always fighting that it should not go to 35%, 25%. This is the team that pays that money. That's how important you are to us at URA, specifically for the Customs Department. Now, when it comes to statistics, my brother Isa, we normally meet in many forums. I don't know whether yours are authentic. Me, I have mine from my books. In terms of statistics, let me start with exports. For the financial year 2019-2020, mine is in Uganda shillings, of course. We exported goods worth 5 trillion to Asia, not to China, to Asia. And this financial year, which has just ended, 9.9 trillion to Asia. Now, when I look at the countries we export, China is at the bottom. Of the 20 that I've picked, China is at the bottom, and we are just exporting a paltry, you see, this financial year, only 153 billion. So it ties into what the minister said. Now, when I go to the imports now, China alone, we import from China the value of 6.2 trillion. 6.2 trillion. That means we don't take there anything, but we get everything from China. And that's what the minister is saying. Can we have a trade balance between Uganda and China? So that's how this partnership is very important to us, because now we are going to see that our relationship with China is not only in getting things from there, but also exporting to China. As you get a container, it comes, think of something that you can also take to China as it goes back. The partnership is a wonderful undertaking that is going to increase access to funding, liquidity, to cover taxes, and the inherent costs associated with importation of goods. I don't know how many times the publicity of Kacita has been with us and the chairman over taxes issues. We had even to craft, when you find a tax collector crafting something during COVID called installment payment, that could you start paying your taxes in installments? It has never happened with a tax collector, because we are interested in 100% taxes. And the Minister of Finance wants all the taxes, and they compute daily. But we felt it. I was stuck with the goods in the bonded warehouses during the COVID pandemic and the lockdown. So I would call Isa and the team and say, how do we get them out? Then we came up with that facility. But it was not, we are not a bank. We are a revenue collection body. We cannot start these things of interest per month, then we get debt collectors, bailiffs, running after you. That's not our core mandate. So I'm happy with this partnership with Stanbic. And I know it's going to go a long way in supporting our traders. The other bit why I'm so happy with this partnership, Isa has touched it. Every time someone pays, you had the battle I had with them recently on textiles and garments. I'm happy these days we discuss and talk. We no longer have these issues of strikes. And I pray that I make sure in my regime there will be no strikes. I try to fight them, because we dialogue and talk. So the issue is, yes, we may have increased the tax duty rate, but that one has been sorted, grace period up to December. I hope you are putting your act together in these 3 months so that by December we are again talking well. But the issue has always been, we are paying more than what we were paying before. We are paying more than what we were paying before. Why? So we had to do a lot of explanation. Some explanations were because of freight rates, and other explanations were because of the documentation that is provided to us. Now, Stanbic has come in to tell us that the agent in China is going to capture the correct documents. I hope so. So I don't have to deploy a multitude of staff in Mombasa, in Nairobi, in Busia, checking one consignment when the documents are clear. So it's just a matter of saying, the agent, this is what comes, trusted agent, these are the documents, this is the value, compute due taxes, container goes to Chukwu. And I think I'm going to see a lot of faster clearance with this initiative. And I hope Kacita will embrace it. We'll have less appeals in my office. Everyone appealing, reduce value for me, increase value for me, reduce, and you even create issues in my office. Officers start having discretionary powers. Now it will be very clear that the value is this, and then we compute, and then you pay taxes and go back, get and go. So I want to appreciate this partnership. China is still our major trading partner as per statistics, and I hope they will also do a good job in making sure we get the right taxes. We already have a working relationship with China for those who have decided to be compliant. I have very few in Kacita under the Authorized Economic Operator Program. Hopefully with this initiative, we'll have more members of Kacita joining the Authorized Economic Operator Program. They have a lot of benefits, especially at the ports in Mombasa and Dar es Salaam. They are given extra time for stay. Even on the route, they are recognized. And even when they go into storage and warehousing, they have a lot of benefits. So how I wish with this partnership we would get a team from Kacita that will join the Authorized Economic Operator Program. Lastly, is to assure you that I'm going to do my best to facilitate right from the ports. I'm going to make sure this partnership is communicated to all staff in Mombasa, in Dar es Salaam, at the borders, Busia and Malaba, and even in Kampala warehousing. So the picture we had about Kacita, thinking that Kacita always wants to dodge or pay less taxes, is going to change. Is going to change with this new partnership. And I hope Stanbic will venture into other importing countries where we get these goods from, so that we don't only concentrate on China, because the other countries that we trade with, next on the item is the United Arab Emirates. A lot of cargo comes from there. If there is a way there can be a partnership with them, it will be welcome. I want to thank you, and I wish you the best this deliberation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abel. I hope this business of ISA becoming almost the staff of your office will reduce when the paperwork is streamlined and the confidence is further built. Thank you very much, Mr. Commissioner. And really, it is at times sad to think that Kacita members want to pay less taxes. It is the informal trader that pays more than a formal trader, only that the ignorance is so much that we pay even unofficial revenue collectors. So the time we reduce on the unofficial revenue collectors, I'm sure the tax base will improve and the tax burden will reduce, because many more traders will be paying. I want to, before we close, take this opportunity to recognize the people that escorted the Minister of Trade. Kindly just wave to us. Thank you very much at the Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. And whichever we have said before or when he left, you will take to him because you are here. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me call the Executive Director, Mr. Emma Mugisha, to close this function. I have been told the documents cannot be signed because of COVID. You know, COVID has changed many things. Even signatures are going to be done online, and the pictures that we have taken are partly because of that. You'll bear with us. I had never known that I would use my phone other than WhatsApping, calling and returning calls, but now I'm becoming an expert on meetings via Zoom. Bringing me to that level was not easy because my age is not for your age. But since I've been able to adopt, we shall all adopt, because I'm not easy to train. We started in the village. The phone is only for answering and turning calls. I'm even of recent learning how to market my products of Chito and Company online. So if you see my picture and I have products I'm selling, I'm both telling you to adjust and become computer literate, the members of Kacita, but also buy the products anyway. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm calling upon the Executive Director to give us closing remarks, and we call it a day. Thank you very much, everybody. For any mishaps that did not impress you, we shall improve next time. Thank you very much. My name is Isa Sechito.
morning, ladies and gentlemen. All protocol observed. Mr. Chito, it is Mrs., not Mr. Emma.
Mrs.
Yes.
I am very sorry.
I am used to, the Emmanuel stole my name.
Oh.
That's the problem.
Okay, thank you.
So mine is very simple. It's actually to thank you all for being here, because my colleagues have already given the details. But I'll first tell you a story. I'm actually a child of Kacita. I grew up on Loom Street. My parents have always run a shop somewhere in town. Started from downtown, where Mukwano is now, and then they embedded a little bit. For the longest time, at the corner, I think there was a Bata recently, I don't know what's there now, the opposite Radio 1. That shop used to be called Feel Free. That's where I grew up, literally. Because every holiday, I had to go and sell.
So you must be knowing me very much. Because that's my street.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, yes, so even up to now, my mother is 71, but she still sells Mishanana, Gomez tea, and the like. So I learned how to sell on Loom Street, and that is what has kept me in the banking career. So for those of you who are not taking your children to work, you're missing out on an opportunity. Please teach them what you're doing. It will benefit them later. So mine was to really thank you each and every one of you for attending this, for those online. As Stanbic, like my CE has said, we're committed to supporting you. We've already been in the journey of supporting traders. We've already been in the journey of supporting small and medium enterprises, and the commitment we have is we shall continue. Ismail went through the detail of the proposition, so I won't repeat that. But this journey today is very important for us, and we really look to build it. We have 3 branches, I think, 4 branches in that market area, and each of these branches will be open for business. But we also want you to start banking on your phones. So on top of Zoom, add banking on your phones. We want it to be electronic, so that in the morning you don't have to come to the bank and say, account kuliko balance in Meka. You can just look onto your phone and understand where your starting process is from your phone. So that is another bit we shall be running with to make sure that, you know, the simple things are on your phone and you can do them. Then when you want to discuss your business plan, when you want to discuss your projections, then you can come to the bank and we have a conversation. But for the simple things, for paying salaries, for paying taxes, we can do those on the phone, and we look forward to that partnership. So I am very grateful to be here to sign the partnership, especially since I am a child of Kacita. And I am proud that I grew up on Loom Street, because that's what made who I am. So thank you very much, and we look forward to a very profitable partnership for both of us. God bless you.
We are free to leave at will, but one important announcement is this program is already running. Any nearby branch of Stanbic will give you details, but for traders, especially those members of Kacita, you come to Kacita for details. Anything that you want to be clarified about, we are going to send out a flyer to each shop, to each household, but we are also going to commit officials at the Kacita office to explain and detail this program. So don't ask us when we are starting, when we have already launched. We have already started. Go to Kacita, go to Stanbic, where we feel as Kacita we are lacking the information, shall send you to Stanbic. Where Stanbic needs to get confidence of Kacita, they will send you to Kacita. Thank you very much. I thought I would say that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
This right here is home. It is where I belong. I know I won't wait long for my favorite song. I can tell by
right, now we're live from the Kampala Sheraton Hotel. Smart means business. And of course, if at all you've been catching up with us as well, thank you for joining in, and thank you very much for catching up with us as well. Now, literally, if you could see the occasion that is actually happening now, we've officially closed the situation. And what was actually happening is that Stanbic Bank and Kacita were launching a partnership that would see the traders benefit from the bank as well. This is actually going to apply to the traders who are actually going to have accounts with Stanbic Bank. Those who already have, it's already a smooth run for them. And for those who do not have, will definitely get themselves accounts with Stanbic Bank. Now, here are the chances. The thing is, if any trader out there opens up an account with Stanbic Bank, this is to help them in the day-to-day facilitation of their businesses, which in later on will actually be more important for them, more so when they're applying for the loans as well, because according to the statements coming in from the CEO of Stanbic Bank, who was here earlier, Andrew Kosh, was actually saying this is a very huge initiative and a very huge platform for the traders, because mainly the COVID-19 pandemic hit them by storm. And if you look at the biggest sector that was greatly hit by the pandemic was none other than the traders, because these are the city traders who normally benefit greatly from these include SMEs, and include a number of, if you look at the SMEs, greatly were hit by the pandemic. This make a very huge percentage of the traders that are under the Kampala City Traders Association, which is Kacita. And if you look at what we've been having here, we've also had the Minister of Trade, Honorable Bahati, who was actually here taking us through the same situation, and actually telling us that the government is willing to actually push through and help Stanbic Bank together with Kacita as well. And if you could also identify, we had some issues with power shortage here and there, but it's something that actually got to be sorted out within due course as well. And I'm actually going to get Mr. Aaron Akampa from Stanbic Bank, who's going to give us more of what we should expect from this particular partnership. We had the CEO, Mr. Mosije Abe, that is the CEO, Kampala City Traders Association. Before we actually kickstarted off with the same event here, and he actually said this is an opportunity for the traders to utilize the financial support from Stanbic Bank Uganda. And I mean, if you have financial assistance that can actually help you out if you are a trader as well, so you can vividly see that something is actually going to happen, and it's going to be more important for most of them. Now, pretty much, if you look at also some of the situations, you would actually forgive some of the people here trying to maybe because it is time to get offset as well. It is actually time. Most of them are now interacting, it being the fact that something really did start up and it happened as well. And you will actually, we're trying to fix up something. But anyway, what is happening here is the Kampala Sheraton Hotel. It is the launch, as the memorandum of understanding is actually set to be signed as well. And we expect more and more to come up as well. So you could see, well, first, if you look at the traders who have been hit by the pandemic, this is going to help them. If they are applying for loans, it's going to be easier for them, because Stanbic Bank is actually offering an opportunity for them. So if you're a trader out there, you haven't opened up an account with Stanbic Bank, what are you waiting for? I think this is the right time for you to actually kickstart off and say, hey, let's go to Stanbic Bank, open up the account, because this partnership is going to help your businesses. You can actually go and apply for the loans, and Stanbic Bank is willing to also give help, financial assistance, not only financial assistance, and also progress in terms of facilitating the activities from the traders. And joining me on set, we do have Mr. Aaron Akampa. You're most welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
I think this is the second time we have you in Smart now.
Second time. I'm becoming a resident of Smart 24. So thank you for coming for our event.
All right, now, Mr. Akampa, can you take us through this particular launch that has just been done up to because I think now we are done with the launch. First, take us through it. What do we expect out of it? What should the traders expect, and what does Stanbic Bank earn out of it?
So it's this is a very big event. This is a massive opportunity, because our trader community has gone through the struggles of the pandemic. They can't get their goods in. They're a net import country. We're a net import country. And our traders can't get access to goods and services because they don't have access to the markets where they're importing these goods and services. What we are trying to do, and the cornerstone of this partnership, is to facilitate that, allow for them to be able to bring in goods, but also be able to export where they are producing, where we have production. Can we expose our trader community to the Asian market? So it's about we'll have a balancing act. So you facilitate your importation of goods, facilitate your export of goods, but also then provide the working capital, provide the tax support that they then require. Because it's if I just say bring your goods and then they reach here and you don't have money to clear these goods, what have I done? I've stopped somewhere in the middle. So what Stanbic is doing as our purpose is in the country, which is this is our home. Uganda is our home. We drive our growth. This is one of those partnerships that brings words into action to say we are here to actually support our traders to grow. We're here to support our country to grow by providing them the necessary support, more than banking, more than traditional debits and credits of banking, linking them to markets that we have exposure to, but then also giving them the tools and the financing to clear these goods and pay for them.
So you actually mentioned of the Asian market, and I've also realized that we have some Asian traders in here. Yeah. I've seen some Asians as well. So why the Asian market?
Yeah, because it's a game of numbers. Our proximity to the Asian continent is very high. The commissioner has just taken us through the numbers. I mean, we have 6 trillion shillings importing just from China. If you compare that to we're exporting total exports into the world of 5 trillion as a country. So we import more from China than we export to the entire world. So Asia is very important for us as a source of goods. So it's also the goods from Asia are not as expensive, and it's closer from a shipping lines perspective. So from a logistics standpoint, it's much easier to import and deal with Asia, which is what has caused this very rapid growth in our trade with the Asian continent. So it's important that we facilitate that trade and play a part to ensure that our traders who have gone through a rough 18 months come out of this thing and thrive. That's why we're here. We're here for them to not just survive the pandemic, but to thrive out of it. Very important.
Meanwhile, Aaron, do we expect, I was asking the CEO of Kacita, I wanted to know, do we expect a pool account that is going to be set up for the traders or something else?
Yes, so we're in the final stages of completing an account that is going to be very specific for the trader. That is a lot cheaper, because I know a trader's coin is very important. So we'll have a very specific account for our traders. We have one, but we'll be modifying it to make it more relevant and more logical. And then come next year, with our partners, UNBS, URA, the Kenya Ports Authority, will have a platform built, a singular interface where all these players, where our traders can interact digitally with this entire environment. And with our Chinese partners. So it will be a seamless experience. So we have to start somewhere and build towards a seamless experience for the trader, where in the comfort of their shop, they can place an order for their goods, request for a letter of credit on the same platform, have tax assessment done, have UNBS do their certifications, have the Kenya Ports Authority clear you understand the environment, and that only benefits one person. That's the trader.
So the main emphasis is mainly centered on helping the trader come out. I heard you mention of the fact that they were hit hard by the pandemic, and it's what you're actually trying to offer. If you can actually remind the viewer your role with Stanbic.
Oh yes, so I head enterprise banking in Stanbic Bank. I look after our SMEs, and it's my job to design the strategy and help support our SMEs every single day of the week. That's what I live, breathe, and dream SMEs in Uganda.
That is where even the traders are.
That's where the traders fall. This is why This is why this partnership is so important and so close to my heart.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Aaron.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. And that is Aaron Akampa, who is actually from Stanbic Bank, taking us through the same situation. I do hope you've actually been, you've got something out of it as well. And I expect something out of it. Now, meanwhile, I do have the CEO, Bravo. I think it is, this one is, you're most welcome. Let me just start from there.
Allow me to remove my mask because...
Sure thing. One would want to know why now we have Bravo. I've had you one of the key partners here, and why do we have you on board now? First, take us through that.
Of course, I like systems, and Stanbic Bank is launching something that is so systematic for the whole business community. Of course, as when you're in business, sometimes you need trust, and trust must be in two systems. Now, when Stanbic Bank comes in to create a system that is trusted, and I'm a trader, I'm also trusted, you get it? It bridges the gap of mistrust between the manufacturers and the banks and ourselves as well. So my being here, of course, I'm a member of Kacita and the organizing secretary, and I like to do good business. Why not?
And most it is actually including the financial assistance coming in from the bank. What do you take of this particular partnership, though?
It's a great partnership because, you see, for example, most people who trade with China have found it very difficult for the past 2 years to access China. And now when you're not doing e-commerce, it becomes very complicated for you. To some people, because of trust, like as I said, that maybe you have partners in China whom you don't trust. Now Stanbic Bank comes here and says, we have trusted agents, trusted partners out there that can bridge the gap between your manufacturers and yourself here, and you can do business while you're seated in your sitting room without necessarily having to go to China, where it is becoming very difficult to access China now.
It's travel
Absolutely. The restrictions, the quarantine. By the time you go to China, you need almost 21 days. And if you cross from one region to the other, it can take a whole month in quarantine. So means that now even you can save on tickets and be able to use Stanbic Bank and do your business.
So what we expect is now is actually opening up a very good room for the traders to access Asia, because I would think because China is mainly the bigger market that we're targeting, but now we're also talking about Asia as well. And now lastly, if you could actually take us, where do you think the traders are going to benefit mainly? Because now you are part of the Kacita, you know where you're benefiting, but where do you think the biggest percentage of the benefit comes from?
Like as I said, you see, doing business when you're not moving, if you know that you are going through Stanbic Bank, and then Stanbic Bank also has agents that are trusted the other side, means that we are able to send our money through systems whereby the trader will not lose. The chances of losing your money is no more. Because we've been dealing with people in China whom you don't trust. You send money and money disappears. But now that is being cut off. Means that you have to send your money through systems to be able to save a lot, most especially on fraud. Here is, once you go to bank through systems, then fraud is out of our business.
Thank you very much for your time, though. I think we shall get more of your interaction later on as well. That is the CEO, Bravo Shoes, is part of the Kampala City Traders Association, and he was actually taking us through the situation. He said he loves systems. He's a big fanatic of systems. So clearly, if there is a system where traders are going to have help from the bank, it is clearly a very good one for them to actually see the data up. And the other sector that was actually the other key part that you shouldn't miss out is that the fact that Kampala City Traders Association, this Kacita partnership with Stanbic Bank, also looks at targeting the Asian market more so, because according to the URA report, which shows of the customs report and situations, clearly show that most probably Ugandans have been importing most of their products, or most of these traders, the SMEs have actually been importing products from China or Asia, but most probably China, worth trillions and trillions of shillings. So you could definitely see the impact of China as a country onto the economy as well, and onto boosting the Ugandan traders as well, all the small and medium-sized enterprises in Uganda. We're live from the Kampala Sheraton Hotel, and clearly this is actually a launch where the traders are under the Kampala City Traders Association, that is Kacita, together with Stanbic Bank Uganda, have actually signed a memorandum of understanding. This is a partnership, meanwhile, is actually going to see and push most of the traders back into business. The idea is pushing them back into business. 18 months ago, when COVID struck the nation, the economy was struggling, and we are trying to stabilize it. And with such partnerships coming through, I guess the traders will actually be given room and verge to actually see that their sector is rejuvenated. This has actually been Smart Means Business. We've been live from the Sheraton Hotel way back as we kick-started it off, and I'm Joram Postonko. Meanwhile, I'm going to head back to Andrew Barije to actually finalize before Yugi Tukole takes center stage. For me and the whole team live from the Sheraton Kampala Hotel, it's ciao, adios.
Thank you, Sonko, for those details. Welcome back from that live coverage too from Sheraton Hotel. As I speak, deal done. We've all seen this partnership, Kacita and Stanbic Bank. It's now official. Mr. Fred Makuya is already with me here. And Mr. Fred, what do you think about this event?
Of course, dear viewers, thank you for joining us. This is one of the greatest milestones, I think. Kacita, as a business community, has registered 15% from